This lesson is on the front wheel, which I call the dial. So here is a diagram of this, and you probably have previously turned this diameter and the 1.5 to the 1-inch shoulder using conversational programming in the tool room lathes. So we're going to begin here. Every time I start to do a lathe program, I always like to pick my machine type first. And of course, this is going to be a default, which is a learning edition. When you post this, this will be 2-axis slant bed. 2-axis slant bed. Okay, so we are going to begin okay, this would be a good time to save it. So let's go ahead and save this right away. We're going to call this front wheel program. Okay, so we're going to draw a series of lines. So we're going to draw this the opposite way around. If you just took a piece of paper and drew this the other view, it would make your life a lot easier when programming. So let's begin here. So we're just going to do some parallel lines. I'm going to draw a vertical line here straight up. I'm only a couple inches, doesn't really matter at this point. So I'm going to go to a parallel line. So the length of the part, just click that and over here, and you type in 1.75. Okay, so that's the length of your part, and the profile end is 3/4 inch long. So 0.75, and enter. Now just having a look at the print. Okay, so let's keep programming to do the lathe turning at least. So you have a blank that you've turned up in the manual mill. This 3/8 diameter is to a minus tolerance, and you've got it set up in your lathe. So you've faced this end off to length. So what we're going to do is do a rough turning and a finishing program here. So go to turning, roughing, and we're going to select partial chain. So being as we've faced this off already, I'm going to select right here, and I'm going to finish off the end. And we are going to pick a tool here. You could use an 80-degree or a 55-degree. It doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm just going to use the 80-degree just because it's here. So we don't need 10,000 as a maximum. Say 2,200 maximum. 450 cutting speed. Feed rate of say, let's keep it down to 6 thou because it's only holding on to a 3/8 diameter in the collet chuck. So number 1 lathe collet chuck. The roughing parameters, we're not going to take a 100 thou cut because again we're holding on a small diameter. So let's go say 30 thou cut. And stock to leave 10 and 10, that's fine. So lead in, lead out, so we're coming straight in and leading back out, which is fine. We'll leave the plunge parameters alone, and that should be it. Okay, so the next program we're just going to do finish. So again, you could pick a chain, or you could come down here and find the last button. So that'll select your last chain. Looks good. And we're going to pick, I'm just going to use the same tool again. If you wanted to use a finer tool, let's see if there's something in here, a 55 degree. This just means you're going to have to set up your tool accurately. So make sure in the lathe that you turn a little bit of diameter to make sure you've got an accurate setting, because you don't want to scrap your part. You only have one chance at this. So something I did forget to do was change my tool setup so that it selects tool 1 and 2. So that was a big no-no. Coolant, the machine doesn't have coolant, so we'll just leave that alone. Finish parameters, nothing to be left on. Lead in, lead out's the same. Let's change up this again, maximum 200, and we're going to go maybe 400. And let's bring this down to a 3 thou feed rate. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, our tool settings. Before we started anything, we should have selected this. Our stock setup, properties, OD is 1.5 stock, and length, I don't know, just stick 1.75. There we go. Let's do a simulation. Okay, tool components, holder off, operation change, check that off, and colors. There's your rough turning. And finishing. And there you have it. There is your lathe program, part 1 done.